Hi there. Welcome back to the Decluttered Homemaker. I'm all about finding simple habits that make life feel lighter, and yes, they actually work in my own home. I used to think I had to work harder, clean deeper, and buy all the latest gadgets to keep things under control. But I realized that the problem wasn't about doing more, it was about my mindset. I had a broken mindset that kept me stuck in the cycle of scarcity and overcomplication. What I discovered is that no matter how much I cleaned or organized my home, still felt chaotic because my mind was cluttered with thoughts of not enough time, not enough space, not enough resources. And that's where things started to change. Today I'm sharing the habits that helped me break free from that broke mindset. These are the real practical shifts that don't just sound good on paper, but actually work in everyday life. When you start shifting your mindset, your space, and your whole life will feel lighter. So let's dive into the first habit that helped me shift from feeling overwhelmed by everything to feeling more in control and at peace. Trust me, once you apply this, the difference in your space and your life will be incredible. Let's start with the first thing, and it's a big one, letting go of that just-in-case thinking. Most of us don't even realize how often it shows up. We keep old makeup. We'll never use clothes that don't fit anymore. Broken gadgets, random cables. All because a tiny voice says, "What if I need it someday?" I lived with that voice for years. Every drawer, every shelf, every closet had things I didn't actually want, but I was too afraid to release. And the fear felt so reasonable in the moment. What if it breaks? What if money gets tight again? What if I regret it? But here's what I learned. Keeping things out of fear never made me feel safer. It only made my home heavier. One afternoon, I stood in front of my closet and realized I was holding on to jeans from 3 sizes ago, telling myself they were motivation. But every time I looked at them, all I felt was pressure and shame. So I finally said, I'm keeping these out of fear, not hope, and I let them go. And honestly, it felt like someone opened a window and let fresh air in. When you start releasing the things that whisper fear into your day, something shifts. Your home gets lighter, but your heart does too. You begin to trust that you'll have what you need when you need it, and you don't have to live in preparation for a crisis that may never come. Now, before we step into next thing, let me say this. If this first shift already feels freeing, just wait until you apply the same mindset to the rest of your life. Your routines, your goals, your mental load, all of it becomes easier to reset when you stop operating from fear and start operating from clarity. And because we're heading into that time of year where everything inside us wants a clean slate, tomorrow's video will help you take the same mindset and use it to reset, declutter, and level up your whole life in a way that actually sticks for the next 90 days. It's the kind of reset that makes you think, oh, this is the version of me I've been trying to become. You'll definitely want to be there for it. All right, let's move on to the next thing, because this next habit is where your home starts to reflect the mindset you're building on the inside. Now we're moving into the second thing, and it's one that quietly fills our homes without us even noticing, buying from a place of fear instead of buying from a place of intention. If you've ever reached for something just because it was on sale, even though you already had plenty at home, you're not alone. Scarcity thinking makes every discount feel urgent, like you're protecting your future self, even when you're really just crowding your present. I used to do this all the time with household basics. Paper towels, cleaning sprays, pantry items, if they were marked down, I convinced myself it was smart to stock up. Not because I needed them, but because I was afraid of paying full price later. And the truth is, all that saving cost me more peace, more space, and more mental load than it ever saved me financially. Here's a tiny shift that helped me stop before buying anything. Just pause for 3 seconds and ask yourself, do I truly need this right now, or am I trying to calm a fear? That little pause changes everything. I still remember opening my pantry one day and finding 6 full bottles of the exact same cleaner unopened, dusty. And the funniest part is I didn't even like that cleaner. I kept buying it because it kept going on sale. That was the moment I realized this isn't smart planning. This is fear disguised as responsibility. When you start buying from clarity instead of anxiety, 2 things happen. Your home stops filling up so quickly and you start trusting yourself again. And that trust is exactly what you'll need as we move into the next thing, because now we're shifting from what comes into your home to what you allow to stay inside it. Now we're arriving at the third thing, and this one is sneaky because it often looks responsible on the surface, but underneath it's still driven by that same scarcity mindset, staying loyal to things that no longer serve you. You know that chair that leaves your back aching every time you sit on it? Or that pan that burns everything unless you stand there and babysit it? Or the coffee maker that sputters, leaks, or takes forever, but you keep saying it still works? It's fine. I'll replace it later. This is where the broken mindset hides the most, in the way we tolerate what's uncomfortable simply because we're used to it. When you're overwhelmed, it feels easier to put up with inconvenience than to make a change. A simple shift that helped me was giving myself permission to upgrade with intention, not impulsively, not excessively, but purposefully. One thing at a time. For me, it started with my office chair. Every single day my lower back hurts, and every single day I tell myself it's fine, I'll get a new one someday. One afternoon after standing up and feeling that same pinch, I finally asked myself, why am I choosing discomfort just because I'm used to it? I bought a new chair the next morning. Nothing fancy, just something supportive, and it changed the way I worked. It changed my mood. It even changed how long I could sit and focus without feeling drained. When you upgrade the things you use every single day, you send a message to yourself. I deserve to be comfortable. I deserve things that work well for me. And that message is powerful. It pulls you out of survival mode and back into self-respect. And once you start making those small intentional upgrades, it naturally opens the door to the next thing, one that has less to do with objects, and more to do with the way you protect your time, your energy, and your peace. Just tell me when you want the next thing. Here's where we get to the fourth thing, and this one rarely gets talked about in decluttering. But it might be the biggest clutter of all, saying yes to things you don't have the space, energy, or desire for. If you've ever looked at your calendar and felt that tiny knot in your stomach, the one that whispers, "Why did I agree to this?" you know exactly what I mean. A broken mindset doesn't only show up in our closets or in our carts. It shows up in the way we undervalue our own time. When you're used to living in scarcity, you feel guilty saying no. You say yes because you don't want to disappoint anyone. You say yes because you don't want to look rude. You say yes because it feels safer than setting a boundary. But every unnecessary yes steals a little bit of your peace. A small shift that made the biggest difference for me was this. Before agreeing to anything, I ask myself, if this were happening tomorrow, would I still say yes? It's such a clarifying filter. One evening, a friend invited me to a midweek dinner. Normally, I would have said, sure, without even thinking, even though I was exhausted, behind on laundry, and desperately needing a quiet night. But I paused and asked myself that question. And honestly, if it were tomorrow, I would have said no. So I sent a warm, honest message and declined. And the relief I felt afterward told me I made the right choice. Every time you protect your time, you teach yourself that your energy matters. You show yourself that you don't have to stretch thin just to be worthy or likable. And the more you practice that, the more your whole life starts to feel less crowded. And this brings us to the next shift, the one that gently loosens the guilt we carry around, letting things go so you can finally create space without feeling like you're doing something wrong. Following that, we come to the fifth thing, and honestly, this is the one that holds the deepest emotional weight, the guilt that shows up every single time you try to let something go. You know that voice, the one that says, "But someone gave this to me, but I spent good money on it. But what if I find a use for it later?" That guilt makes you feel like keeping the item is the responsible thing to do. But really, it's just another form of scarcity. It convinces you that letting go is wasteful even when holding on is what's keeping you stuck. One gentle shift that changed everything for me was asking myself a different question. Has this already given me what it came here to give? Sometimes the answer is yes, even if you barely used it. Maybe the lesson was that you don't actually like that style. Maybe the purpose was discovering what doesn't work for you. Maybe the gift served you by reminding you that someone thought of you, and that's enough. I remember standing over a box of things my friend gave me years ago, small decor pieces that never matched my style. I kept them out of obligation, not joy. One day, I wrapped them carefully, drove them to a donation center, and whispered, "Thank you, and goodbye." I didn't feel wasteful. I felt free, like I stopped carrying a weight that was never mine to hold. Letting go without guilt isn't about tossing everything. It's about honoring the purpose an item already served and allowing it to continue serving someone else instead of sitting unused in your home. And when you stop carrying guilt, something beautiful happens. You make space for joy again. Which leads us straight into the next thing, something lighter, softer, and honestly overlooked. But it's one of the sweetest parts of shifting out of a broken mindset. The next point brings us to the sixth thing, and this one is soft, simple, and so often overlooked. Giving yourself permission to have small moments of joy without feeling irresponsible for wanting them. When you've lived in a broken mindset for a long time, joy starts to feel like a luxury you haven't earned yet. You stop buying the flowers because they die too fast. You put the cute mug back on the shelf because it's not necessary. You skip the little treats because there are more important things. But here's the truth. Joy is not frivolous. Joy is fuel. Joy keeps you going on the days when everything feels heavier than it should. A small way to start shifting this is to choose one tiny joy each week, something inexpensive, simple, and meant only to brighten your day. For me, it started with a $6 bunch of grocery store flowers. I used to walk past them thinking, what a waste. But the first time I brought them home, the whole kitchen felt warmer. Every time I glanced at them, I breathed a little easier. And suddenly I realized, joy isn't extra. Joy is maintenance for your soul. When you allow small joy back into your life, you start remembering that you're allowed to feel good now, not only after everything is perfect, not only after you've earned it, not only after you've fixed every corner of your home. It's these tiny sparks of joy that help you stay motivated while you declutter the deeper layers of your mindset. And speaking of deeper layers, the next thing brings all of these shifts together in a way that helps your home and your habits finally stay light for the long run. And with that, we approach the seventh thing, and this one gently rewrites the part of your mind that fears not having enough, choosing to share instead of store. If you've ever kept something simply because it might be useful one day, you know how hard this shift can be. That old broken mindset makes every extra item feel like insurance. Like if you let it go, you're somehow reducing your safety net. But in reality, keeping things you don't use doesn't make your life safer. It just makes your home heavier. A softer, kinder way to break that pattern is this. When you find an item you don't use, but someone else could let that be the sign it's time to release it. Not because you have too much, and not because you're forcing minimalism, but because the item deserves to keep being useful somewhere else. A few months ago, I had an extra set of mixing bowls sitting in my cabinet. They were perfectly fine, but I always reached for the same out of habit. I kept telling myself, they're still good. I should hold on to them, but one day a neighbor mentioned she was starting to cook more at home and didn't have much kitchen gear. I wrapped up the extra bowls, placed them on her porch, and texted her to check outside. Her excitement made me realize letting go doesn't have to feel like loss. Sometimes it feels like kindness. And something beautiful happens when you practice this. You stop seeing your home as a storage unit for what if, and start seeing it as a space for what supports me right now. It lightens you emotionally too, because every time you share, you tell yourself, there will be enough. I will have enough. I can trust that. And that inner trust leads perfectly into the next thing, a shift that helps you step into the version of yourself you're growing toward instead of the one you've outgrown. We've reached the last thing, and it's one of the most transformative, making decisions based on the woman you're becoming, not the woman you used to be. When you've spent years in survival mode, it's easy to forget that a different version of you even exists. A calmer you, a more intentional you, a you who isn't carrying the weight of old fears. But this shift changes everything. Because decluttering becomes so much easier when you're choosing for your future self, not the tired version of you who had to hold everything together. A gentle place to begin is this picture, the version of you who feels grounded and clear, the one who wakes up without the mental noise, the one who chooses what supports her, not what drains her. In her home, what belongs, what doesn't. I had to face this myself the day I looked at a shelf full of decor I didn't even like anymore. I had kept things because they were cheap, or because they once matched a style I've long since outgrown. And then I asked, would the next version of me put this out on display? The answer was no, to almost everything. I packed up what no longer fit the life I'm building, not out of guilt, but out of respect for the woman I want to step into. And the whole room shifted. It suddenly felt like it was cheering for me instead of reminding me who I used to be. When you start choosing from that future self perspective, your home becomes a place that supports your growth, not your old habits. So that's everything for today, just a few gentle shifts to help you loosen the grip of that broken mindset and breathe a little easier in your own home. You don't have to apply all of them at once. Even one small shift is enough to change the way your space and your thoughts feel. And if you've been wanting a life that doesn't feel so crowded in your mind or on your calendar, this is such a good place to start. Try one thing, notice how it feels, and let the change build from there. And since we're so close to a brand new season of life, I'm sharing something really special tomorrow, a slow grounding reset to help you declutter your life from the inside out and step into the new year with a plan that actually sticks. If today's video stirred something in you, tomorrow's will feel like the missing piece you've been waiting for. You'll want to be there for it. If this video makes your day feel even a little lighter, feel free to like or subscribe. It helps me know what truly supports you, and it helps you stay connected to a space designed to bring more calm into your everyday life.